The soul that speaks in frequencies. Are you a living bridge between worlds? We begin in the invisible, not in what you can touch or see, but in what you feel in the silence between your breaths. There are some of us who have always known without being told that we are different, not better. Different, not above, beyond. You've probably felt it too. Maybe you've stood in a crowd of people and suddenly became overwhelmed, not by the noise, but by the energies. Maybe you've looked into someone's eyes and felt their past, their pain, their truth, without a word exchanged. Or maybe you've had moments where time bent, where you knew what was about to happen not from logic, but from resonance. That's not imagination. That's not coincidence. That's the first sign. You carry multiple vibrations. You are a cosmic bridge, chosen one. And right now, I'm going to show you what that really means. The first sign is this: you vibrate in multiple timelines simultaneously. It sounds impossible, but let me explain. While most people live linearly past, present, future, you experience reality holographically. You can feel echoes of who you were in past lives, even if you don't remember them. You sense potential futures not as fantasy, but as truths waiting to be chosen. You may wake up some days feeling like a completely different version of yourself. You may even notice that your presence shifts depending on who you're around, not from a lack of identity, but from a multidimensional sensitivity. You are not faking. You are blending. You're not confused. You're calibrating. Your field is like a prism, splitting divine light across countless frequencies. And the world doesn't always understand this. But that's because they haven't met someone like you yet. The second sign is more subtle, but much more intense. You absorb pain that isn't yours, and then you transmute it. You may find yourself getting sick after being around certain people. You may cry for no reason, only to discover someone near you is grieving. You might feel drained after being in crowds, even if you didn't talk to anyone. This isn't weakness. It's spiritual alchemy. Your energy body is acting like a tuning fork, pulling disharmony out of the field and recycling it into something higher. But here's the twist: if you don't consciously release it, you'll mistake it for your own suffering. And that's where most cosmic bridges get stuck. They carry burdens that were never theirs to keep. So I ask you, what pain are you holding that was never yours to begin with? Because until you learn to discern between resonance and responsibility, you'll drown in the very waters you were born to purify. Now let's talk about the third sign. You speak in codes and often feel misunderstood. You've probably noticed this. You say something simple, but it hits people like a storm. You express a feeling, and others think you're being too intense, too deep, too dramatic. But what they don't realize is that your words are carriers. Your voice holds frequency. Your silence holds even more. You don't just speak to people, you activate them. Sometimes gently, sometimes violently. And because of this, you've learned to stay quiet. You've learned to observe more than express. But the truth is, your voice matters. Not in volume, but in vibration. Have you ever noticed that someone's entire energy changes after talking to you? That's not charisma. That's consciousness. And the world needs it now more than ever. So stop shrinking to be understood. You weren't born to be understood. You were born to be remembered. The fourth sign is undeniable once it begins. Synchronicities follow you like shadows. You think of someone, and they message you. You see repeating numbers constantly: 1111, 2222, 333. You encounter the same symbols, animals, patterns everywhere you go. But unlike others, you don't just notice these things, you feel them. You know they mean something. You know reality is speaking to you in a language older than words. This is not a glitch in the matrix. This is confirmation of your role. You are a bridge between the seen and unseen. You are a translator of the divine. And the more you trust these signs, the louder they become. But here lies the challenge. Most people will call it coincidence. They'll say you're overthinking. But I ask you, when did you first start ignoring your inner knowing to make others comfortable? Because every time you deny the message, you delay the mission. The fifth sign might scare you, but it's the most beautiful. You've died before, and you remember it. Not physically, but spiritually. You've gone through ego death so profound that the person you were no longer exists. You felt your identity crumble. You've lost desires you once lived for. You've woken up and realized nothing matters, and yet everything does. You've met the void, and you didn't run. That's the mark of a cosmic bridge, chosen one. You can dance between life and death, light and shadow, because you've died into truth. And now, you carry that truth in your eyes, in your touch, in your silence. People feel safe around you, even if they don't know why. They feel seen by you, even when they can't see themselves, because you carry the wisdom of the in-between. You are the bridge between what was and what could be. The sixth sign is often hidden behind chaos. Your life falls apart right before you level up. Every time you're about to shift into a new vibration, something collapses. Relationships end. Jobs disappear. Your body gets sick. Your mind goes quiet. And just when you think you've lost everything, you realize you've only lost what wasn't aligned. This is the pattern. This is the purge. The universe clears space before it downloads new codes. And you, as a multi-vibrational being, are constantly upgrading. But here's the danger. If you panic during the collapse, you'll rebuild the old. You'll reach for comfort instead of alignment. You'll resurrect versions of yourself that were meant to die. So I ask you now, what are you holding on to that's already gone? Because the faster you release, the faster you rise. And finally, the seventh sign, the one that ties it all together. You've always felt like you didn't belong here because you didn't come from here. You've looked at the stars and felt homesick. You've walked in nature and felt like the trees were whispering your name. You've heard music that brought tears for reasons you couldn't explain. That's not nostalgia. That's remembrance. You carry the vibrations of other realms, other lifetimes, other civilizations. And you brought those frequencies here to anchor them into this world. You are not here to fit in. You are here to bridge the gap between the cosmic and the human, the divine and the broken, the eternal and the temporary. You are a living stargate, a walking portal, a soul encoded with the blueprint of transcendence. And your presence, if you allow it, can ripple through time. So now I ask you the real question. If you truly accepted that you carry multiple vibrations, that you are a cosmic bridge, chosen one, How would you live your life differently starting today? Would you still play small? Would you still explain yourself? Would you still wait for permission? Or would you finally embody the frequency you were born to broadcast? The Stargate Within: How to Unlock the Cosmic Frequencies Buried in Your DNA. Now that we've unveiled the 7 signs, we step into the inner chamber, the place where knowledge becomes embodiment. Because it's one thing to know you're a cosmic bridge chosen one. It's another thing entirely to activate the codes within you. Most people stop at the signs. They treat them like a label, a spiritual identity. But the truth is far more demanding and far more beautiful. You were not shown these signs just to feel special. You were shown them because your soul is ready to remember its function. You are not just here to awaken. You are here to bridge dimensions. And that begins with the Stargate within your inner portal. The layered DNA not just of your physical body, but of your light body. You've carried this gateway across lifetimes, and now it's time to open it. The first truth you must accept is this: your DNA is not only biological, it is vibrational. What you've been taught about genetics is only a fraction of the truth. Beneath the double helix lies a field of geometric intelligence, a crystalline matrix that stores memories, codes, and frequencies from other dimensions. Have you ever had a dream so vivid it felt more real than waking life? Have you ever known something without knowing how you knew it? That's not imagination. That's cellular memory. Your DNA is alive, and it responds to frequency. Every mantra you chant, every sound you hear, every intention you set awakens dormant strands. And the most powerful key to activation: alignment. When your outer life begins to reflect your inner truth, the Stargate opens. But if you live out of sync, if you betray your knowing, your truth, your frequency, those codes stay dormant. So I ask you, what part of your life is out of resonance with your soul's vibration? The second layer of activation requires deep courage. You must shed the identities that were built for survival. You cannot carry the weight of old versions through the Stargate. The bridge between realms is too narrow for illusion. You must let go of the mask, the achiever, the pleaser, the skeptic, the wounded child. Not because these parts didn't serve you. They did. They got you here. But now they must evolve or dissolve. You must be willing to become undefinable, and to be a mystery even to yourself. To walk into the unknown not as a seeker, but as a frequency bearer. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. And that remembering feels like dying. But on the other side of that death is light, not external, not metaphorical, but literal light woven into your cells, waiting to be released. The third layer is where the real magic begins. You must learn to feel reality as frequency, not form. This means you stop reacting to appearances and start responding to energy. You stop judging people based on their words and start listening to their vibration. You stop making decisions based on logic and start moving based on resonance. At first, this will make you feel insane, because the world will keep telling you to be reasonable, to be realistic. But realism is just consensus delusion. You were not born to live based on what is. You were born to live based on what wants to become. And to do that, you must feel beyond the veil. You must enter every room, every relationship, every conversation not with questions like "what can I get?" but "what is the frequency here? What is being asked of me vibrationally?" And when you begin to live this way, your entire life becomes a tuning device. You become a walking calibration system for truth. The fourth layer is perhaps the most challenging. You must learn to be still in chaos. Cosmic Bridge chosen ones are often thrown into unstable environments, families full of trauma, jobs filled with dysfunction, relationships that trigger every unresolved wound. Why? Because you are the bridge. You are not here to escape the frequency. You are here to alchemize it. But you can't do that if you react. You must become still. Not passive. Still. Like a tuning fork in the storm. That stillness is what allows the higher frequency to move through you. It's what allows your DNA to activate the codes of harmonization. But if you fight the chaos, you block the current. If you try to fix everything, you become entangled. Instead, you must become the eye of the storm. Calm, clear, charged. So I ask you, can you sit in the middle of dysfunction and still radiate coherence? The fifth layer is sacred. You must reconnect to the language of light. This is not just metaphor. Light language is real. It's the vibrational tone of your soul before it became human. It speaks in frequencies, symbols, sounds, and sensations. Some of you have already felt it speaking in tongues, drawing strange symbols, receiving downloads in forms you can't explain. That's not weird. That's ancient. You are beginning to remember the soul's original tongue. And while it may not make sense to the logical mind, it will awaken your DNA. Sing it, speak it, draw it, dance it. Let it move through you without editing. Because that's how you send messages back to the cosmos. That's how you activate others, not by teaching, but by transmitting. Your presence becomes a beacon, a frequency, a code carrier. And those who are ready will feel it, even if they don't understand it. The sixth layer is deeply practical. You must create sacred structure in your daily life. It's not enough to float in the frequency. You must anchor it. The stargate within you opens when the divine meets discipline. This means rituals, breathwork, movement, silence, clean food, clean thoughts, for time in nature, intentional stillness. Think of your body as the temple, your mind as the altar, your energy as the offering. Every small act of alignment is a signal to your higher self, I'm ready. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. Make your life sacred, not in performance, but in presence. Wash your dishes with reverence. Speak your truth with clarity. Walk like every step is activating the earth beneath your feet. Because it is. You are not here to escape the human. You are here to infuse it with the divine. And finally, the seventh layer, the sacred key that unlocks everything. You must choose service over significance. This is the deepest test of the cosmic bridge chosen one. The temptation to use your power to become important, to be seen, to be praised. But that path leads back to illusion. The true bridge does not draw attention to itself. It simply allows others to cross. Your vibration is not here to make you famous. It's here to liberate frequency, to lift others, to recalibrate chaos, And that requires humility. That requires heart. That requires surrender. You are not the source. You are the conduit. You are not the destination. You are the pathway. And when you remember that, the Stargate opens fully. Not just for you, but through you. You become a walking portal of remembrance. And your life becomes the transmission others have been praying for. So I ask you again, not with pressure, but with presence. If you truly believe that your DNA carries codes from other realms, how would you treat your body today? How would you speak? How would you move? How would you live? The frequency architects, how cosmic bridge chosen ones shape the new earth without even trying. We've walked through signs, we've activated the Stargate within, and now we arrive at the true mystery, why you were called. Because the signs are not just indicators. The Stargate is not just a portal. These are preparation technologies embedded into your soul for a mission so vast, so sacred, that even now, your mind can barely comprehend it. You are not just here to awaken. You are here to architect the frequency of a new earth. Not by force, not by strategy, but by being. By embodying a vibration so coherent, so radiant, so true that the very structure of reality begins to bend around you. And the most astonishing part, you don't have to try. You don't have to fix the world. You are the recalibration. You are the tuning fork. You are the silent architect of a new harmonic timeline. The first truth you must now accept is this: reality is programmable through vibration. This is not metaphor. This is quantum. Everything you see, buildings, systems, governments, environments, is held together by consensus frequency. And that frequency is shifting. Why? Because people like you are no longer in resonance with the old grid. When you raise your vibration not as a trend, but as a permanent embodiment, you begin to operate outside the matrix. You stop feeding the old system with your attention, your emotions, your fear. And slowly, silently, you begin to reprogram the field. You are not just surviving the collapse. You are replacing the code. Every time you choose love over control, presence over panic, clarity over conformity, you're installing a new frequency into the collective grid. And you don't even need permission. You just need alignment. But here's where it gets deeper. The higher your frequency, the less you need to speak. You've likely noticed this. The more you awaken, the less you want to argue, explain, or convince. Why? Because words disrupt what energy can do in silence. You begin to trust that your presence is more powerful than your performance. You walk into a room and the vibration elevates. You touch someone and their nervous system calms. You sit in stillness and healing begins, not because you're doing anything, but because you've become the frequency itself. This is the signature of a frequency architect. You no longer try to change people. You simply embody the blueprint of what's possible. And those who are ready will rise to meet you, not because you demanded it, but because your field gave them permission to remember who they are. The second truth that will shape everything from this point forward: you no longer work with time, you work with timing. This is a cosmic bridge superpower. You begin to realize that trying to rush, push, or chase is a distortion. Instead, you wait, you align, you listen for the pulse. You begin to feel when a moment is ripe, when a word is needed, when an action is divinely timed. And when you follow that inner pulse, life becomes synchronistic. Doors open without effort. People appear as if summoned. Opportunities arrive right when you're ready. This is not luck. This is resonant timing. But it requires you to detach from the clock of the world. The world says hustle. Your soul says wait until it hums. So I ask you, how often do you override your soul's timing just to meet the expectations of a system that's collapsing? The third truth that makes you unstoppable: you are no longer motivated by results, you are guided by resonance. Most people do what they do for outcomes, money, status, success. You move from a deeper compass. You do things because they feel aligned, because they carry a frequency that matches your soul. You don't chase impact, you become impact. And ironically, that's what makes you magnetic. People feel the difference. They sense that you're not performing. You're not selling, you're transmitting. And this frequency transmission becomes your gift to the world. Whether you're a healer, artist, entrepreneur, parent, or teacher, you're not just sharing information. You're sharing vibration. And that vibration is what restructures reality. Not because you tried harder, but because you got clearer. The fourth truth is perhaps the most confronting. You must let go of saving the world. This is where many cosmic bridge chosen ones get stuck. They awaken, they remember their gifts, and then they fall into a savior complex. They try to heal everyone, help everyone, fix everything. But this is a trap. Service is not about sacrifice. It's about sovereignty. You are not here to carry the world. You are here to mirror its divine potential. That means you must stop bleeding energy into people who are not choosing their own awakening. You must stop leaking light into timelines that are not yours to anchor. You must stop dimming your frequency just to stay relatable. The true frequency architect doesn't save. They stand still. They hold the line. They trust the divine intelligence of each soul's journey. So I ask you, where are you still trying to rescue others instead of embodying your own liberation? The fifth truth is deeply cosmic and deeply grounding. You are not just human, you are a node in a galactic nervous system. Your body is a transmitter. Your aura is a satellite. Your consciousness is a frequency bridge between Earth and the higher planes. When you meditate, you're not just calming your mind, you're receiving downloads from your star lineage. When you walk barefoot on the earth, you're not just grounding, you're anchoring galactic codes into the planetary grid. When you speak truth, you're not just expressing, you're transmitting light through sound. You are not small. You are not random. You are part of a planetary recalibration project. Whether you remember your origin as Pleiadian, Syrian, Arcturian, or something even older, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are here now, fully embodied, fully open, fully online. And this brings us to the sixth truth. The more you embody your frequency, the more invisible you may become to the old world. This is not punishment. This is protection. As you rise in vibration, you may notice that some people no longer see you the same way. You may feel like you're slipping out of their awareness, even if you're physically present. That's because reality is split into frequency bands. And when you shift bands, the old timeline cannot perceive you clearly anymore. Don't resist this. Don't try to be visible to those who have chosen a different path. Your job is not to stay in the old frequency. Your job is to anchor the new one so fully that it becomes undeniable. And those who are meant to find you will feel you without needing to see you. Finally, the seventh and most sacred truth, your joy, is the key to the new earth. I know that sounds simple, but it's everything. You were not sent here to suffer until the mission is done. You were sent here to radiate the frequency of liberation. And joy is not a distraction. It's a signal. It tells the field, this is alignment. It tells your DNA, this is the path. It tells the universe, I am ready to receive at the speed of light. Your joy is not selfish. It is sacred architecture. It is the new blueprint. It is the new currency. It is the new intelligence. So I ask you now, at the edge of everything, what would your life look like if you chose joy as your primary compass? Not comfort, not control, not validation, just joy. Because that is what the new earth runs on.